Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen! Adam Cole! Bye-bye! Contract is reportedly expiring following SummerSlam this year. So, Wrestling Inc. dropped a big story on August 2nd that Adam Cole's deal with WWE actually came to an end following NXT's Great American Bash, in which he defeated Kyle O'Reilly, but the former leader of the Undisputed Era agreed to extend his stay with the promotion for another month. Building on the initial report, Fightful Select offered more details on Cole's standing with WWE, writing that Cole expressed his company's willingness to keep working up until SummerSlam, set for Saturday, August 21st, before reevaluating everything. There was some assumption internally in WWE that Cole's expiration date for his contract was set for December of this year, but many top names of the promotion were surprised to learn that the deal initially ran out last month, learning of the situation shortly before the NXT contract was set to expire. Sources were willing to praise Adam Cole for being happy to continue his work with the company up until SummerSlam rather than just leaving and being free to appear on another wrestling show. There was also reportedly significant levels of frustration and heat within WWE that such an important contract renegotiation has been allowed to get so close to the wire. There's no indication whether or not Cole wants to leave or be interested in listening to other offers. At the very least, he would be freedom to consider following SummerSlam in Las Vegas in just over 2 weeks. So Adam Cole, if he had left, would have likely lost to Kyle O'Reilly, but reports were coming out following that mountainous news that Adam Cole's contract expiration has apparently pissed off WWE officials so much that they're mad that it has become public knowledge. It was reported by PW Insider saying they've reached out with officials within the company who have admitted that they're surprised that Cole's contract is set to expire, having been tied until he was 2022, and confessed to being frustrated that the situation has been put into the public domain. So, yeah. At a time where WWE are receiving criticism for their treatment of talent, use of NXT stars on the mainstream brands, while the likes of CM Punk and Bryan are reportedly heading to AEW, losing Adam Cole in such a public manner will be another avoidable issue the promotion now has to contend with. So, yeah. Further reports came out about why did exactly Adam Cole stick around for afterwards. It was reported by TalkSport that Cole's reason for doing this was so he could put over Kyle O'Reilly in a match at TakeOver show, which would be his final contract outing with the company on Sunday, August 22nd. As part of the discussion, so basically, once his contract runs out after SummerSlam, since he has TakeOver the next night, that means he's a free agent. So, yeah. NXT talents typically have a 30-day no-compete clause, and agreeing to stay, Cole has already committed longer to WWE than the non-compete would have kept him out of action. Of course, here's the thing, like, if this was like he was released, then I would think that's when the no-compete would go into effect, but he's not released. His contract's up and he doesn't want to resign. If that is indeed the case, then he can go ahead and go anywhere within anytime he wants if he wanted to. So, yeah. And Adam Cole has also reportedly turned down multiple contract offers in a report from PW and Unlimited, reporting that Cole's already turned down multiple new contract offers from WWE. There's no indication what was included in those offers, but deals put in front of Cole were not to his liking. So, yeah, time is running out, but WWE is trying to see if they can offer more new plans for him. And this led to a lot of people having ideas of what he could do if he leaves and go to AEW, probably because of his past there. Not because of his time in AEW, he hasn't worked there yet, because of who's running the company and who's on the shows. The Elite, being the Elite, and knowing that, they killed him several years back when he left to go to the company up north. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they'll have an issue with that. So, I said on Twitter when this broke, I was like, wow, this is kind of demoralizing, honestly, for WWE. Like, they already have enough issues with Nick Khan just going ahead and playing shoot up the talent for them to be let go with BS budget cut reasons, other than faking the growth of their company more so with more excessive compulsive details. That's at least my internal opinion. But it was also said the reason why they let go of Bray Wyatt was part of their whole initiative to keep them out of being, quote, slightly near the red if they ever go to that point. And Nick Khan wants to prevent ever being near the red. We can't get to the red. We can't be financially in the red. Even though AEW is financially in the red. But here's the thing. I hate to be the one to point this out, Nick Khan. I know because you're the president of the WWE. And even the most lacking of business knowledge and how business works, everyone and their grandmother and the youngest child willing to tell you you have to spend money to make money. AEW is, quote, financially in the red, yet they're making big signings, especially with the likes of the rumors with Punk and Bryan. And now they look like they can make more down the road, and they already been teasing more impressive roster show outs coming out. Oh, but AEW is saying that they expect profits to be made when the game comes out. That's the reason they're, quote, financially in the red, because of the game. They want to make the game as big as possible, and they want to make a profit with it. So they know that if that game succeeds, they'll be financially set. But yeah, Adam Cole going to AEW is something they are teasing on the AEW. And the Young Bucks went ahead and posted an emoji of a ghost, so you know who they're talking about, because they keep joking that Adam Cole's a ghost now, because, you know, they're dead to him. He's dead to them. And then someone proposed, then Macho Beard on Twitter, follow him by the way, gave this idea of Matt Hardy having a role in Adam Cole's return, where he throws him into the lake of reincarnation. And even though Matt Hardy's no longer broken, but you know, he could still channel that persona in him, and since they have established he can teleport in the AEW continuity, despite them not liking it, but at least they're not ignoring it. But yeah, and I was like, okay, then Kenny Omega, once he catches wind of this, has to go out on TV and say on BT and be like, if that idea may just be crazy enough to get us all killed, because I'm pretty sure Adam Cole would kind of be pissed. He might be slightly upset over what you poisoned him and killed him and another guy. Hey, so yeah, he might be a little bit pissed about that. And he still has a little buddies with Bullet Club, so he could go over there and, you know, team up with them to take revenge on the Elite for, you know, murdering him if he ever decided to leave. Some people speculate he might go because, well, Britt Baker is in AEW, you know, their relationship and everything. So some people say it's not hard to see the idea of AEW acquiring Adam Cole, baby, to their company, but according to Britt Baker, she doesn't care what Adam Cole does so long as he's happy. Aww, that's sweet. So basically, he has to go somewhere that's not WWE because, yeah. And WWE responded very quickly to the situation, other than being pissed. So they fired Ken Kamen, who is strongly believed to have been fired because of Adam Cole's contract situation. Per report from Brian Alvarez of Wrestling Observer Radio, so take it what you will, it is strongly believed that is where his dismissal stems from. I'm pretty sure that's the reason he was released, was this Adam Cole contract situation. So yeah, he was the vice president of talent development and was let go after 6 years in the role, and now it might have something to do with his role with NXT and whatnot. Though, let's be real, the ultimate blame goes to WWE management more so, from Vince and whatnot. But so I was like, considering he's now reevaluating his options, like, you would think Adam Cole, he's the guy that to be the main attraction, to be a mainstream player if he got called up. Everyone kept thinking like, okay, they screwed up a lot of people, but, you know, they can make this work with Adam Cole. It'd be impossible to F him up. And Vince is a supporter of Adam Cole. Well, remember what happened to the last couple of people in the last several years that were said to be very Vince supported? Well, yeah, they're not doing so well. Yeah. And even Bray Wyatt, who is everything Vince wants, someone who believes he's a storyteller and an entertainer and not a wrestler, so to speak, is fired because money. And also probably because of nefarious reasons, but I'm not going to go into that. So, Adam Cole, he's sticking around just to put over Kyle O'Reilly, so it's going to be interesting what happens to him afterwards. He's going to reevaluate the situation. Well, I guess that's it. I mean, like, I don't know what else to talk about. Oh. Yeah, it's not over. Oh, man. Fightful Select posted today, actually, that Pete Dunne's contract's coming up after SummerSlam weekend. Though this one does not have a precise date. And Dunne is apparently, in the report, the situation with Dunne is apparently similar to that of Adam Cole's, leading to a short term. So, no idea what that exactly means. If I had to guess, he's reevaluating his options. Pete Dunne is 27 years old. I talked with some people on Twitter about it, and many, including one of my buddies on there, Megan, check her out. I'll be sure to bring up the people hype, go ahead and whatnot up on Twitter, up on YouTube, but check out her blog post. She's now a contributor to DDT, to Daily DDT, so okay, that's kind of awesome. So I went ahead and wanted to bring this up. So Pete Dunne leaving WWE would really hurt them. Adam Cole leaving also will hurt them. Remember Marvin I was saying, a seismic shift in the sport of professional wrestling in NXT has just been made. Well, yeah, and people would be like, well, why would these reports be so big? Like, a contracts expire all the time and whatnot. I don't think it's necessarily the whole contracts expire all the time is the reason. I think it's because they mention how it's reevaluating options. And I think I know why. It's because of what's been going on in management, why the firings are happening. And in fact, if I had to guess, I think Karrion Kross's treatment on the main roster was ultimately the straw that broke the camel's back. And then when Bray Wyatt was let go, well, that's like breaking the camel's back, repairing it, and then breaking it again. I get the feeling that all the firings and then adding Karrion Kross's treatment on the Raw brand after they spent so long trying to build him up on the NXT brand, only to be completely dismantled within 2 minutes. And then Bray Wyatt's termination, who's around the same age as Adam Cole, if I'm correct. Let me just double check so I don't get that wrong. Adam Cole's, okay, Bray Wyatt is 34. Adam Cole, baby, is currently 32, so he's 2 years older than Adam Cole. But the fact that someone around that age got fired, and everyone in WWE seemingly reported that, yeah, we don't believe that was the reason, the budget cuts. So they think something else happened on that front. But the idea now that these two big names in NXT could jump ship, and here's the thing, and go somewhere else. Oh boy, that's yeah. I mean, like, seeing Adam Cole, like, this. Think about this. Adam Cole was the longest reigning NXT champion. Pete Dunne is the longest reigning champion of the modern era. They acknowledged it. If they leave, they're taking all that prestige and whatnot. The fact that they said Pete Dunne is bigger than Brock Lesnar in the terms of title records is saying something. But yeah, would I like to see Adam Cole in AEW? Yes. Would I like to see Pete Dunne in AEW? Yes. But I will respect their decision if they decide to resign and want to take the risk. But after everything that's happened, I'm glad they're at least assessing the situation. Like, do I stay or do I go? because now there's so much unstable uncertainty with Nick Khan running the show now. Even John Cena's at a point where he's admitting that, yeah, using aging veterans at this point is going to less secure WWE's future in a stable environment. And the fact that they just keep firing all their best talent who are in their 30s or late 20s are clearly thinking other options or just been let go out of nowhere. So, yeah, that's that big point there. Now, Pete Dunne in AEW. Adam Cole I can see definitely going to AEW. He has connections there, and plus he could do everything else. Pete Dunne? While the idea of Pete Dunne versus the Boston Pac amuses me, I think he fits more for New Japan, honestly. I'm like, he can still show up in AEW due to all the working agreements, but I would kind of love it more if he went to New Japan Pro Wrestling if he was up for that, because he would still be able to work in the UK with their promotion deals, and he could also show up in AEW if he wanted to. So yeah, he would be able to do that, so I feel like that could work, but yeah, I'm just speculating what could happen. We don't know what's going to happen. We'll have to see within 2 weeks. Because, wow, the wrestling world, and because now these whole contract stuff, like you would sue, like even when AEW was first around, you would be like, okay, there's like a couple people I can imagine going to AEW. Now it's like, well, AEW is getting big, all these other promotions are working together in collaboration. Now it's like, oh well, what do we do now? And Vince really should have kept his mouth shut over the roster thing about how he said, oh, well, Vince McMahon, I like, when Vince said we could always give them some more, I was like, you dumbass. Like, I think that should have been the moment Nick Khan or Triple H be like, shut up, don't see that. The roster's already pissed enough as it is. Because why would you say that? When you're telling them, well, I could just fire you all, you won't get paid for 30 to 90 days, and I still keep all the money. Somehow, in this. I win. And it's like, oh god. Now, like, if Adam Cole leaves, if Pete Dunne both leave, they won't have those no compete clauses. Or you could make the same oversight issue that you did with Malachi Black, and that you feared you almost did with Buddy Murphy, because he was around that same time. So, yeah, you might need to reassess the situation on that. Oh, God. The very fact that we can actually go with this idea, could they go All Elite? Could they go New Japan? Could they go back to UK? Could they go and do this or that? And with WWE currently in this weird restructuring attitude where they're firing people left and right in order to, quote, get all the goddamn money in the goddamn world, and depleting their roster more and more as the days and weeks go by, I wouldn't be surprised if they start thinking, is being here even worth it anymore? Like, the money's good, but I could do what I want and still get that kind of paycheck over there, or I can have my own individuality kept and whatnot. Yeah, it's a very, very tough idea, and now with AEW around, and if the game works out well and they make a profit, then it's going to be more enticing for them than ever. I'm going to be interested in this. This is going to be an interesting story to come out as the days and weeks go by. We'll have to see. And Cole is set for a meet and greet, which is $150 freaking. Thanks, Vince. So I'll pay that if you let me have him for a full-fledged interview, but you know that's not going to happen. Yeah, we're gonna have to be seeing this. Oh boy, because this is gonna be a very fun time. So we'll have to see. Anyways, AEW even teased it on Dynamite. They teased the Bollywood Boys, Bray Wyatt, Adam Cole with the ghost thing. They were Ric Flair and whatnot. Like, the Elite just had fun with that. And CM Punk and Bryan. So, yeah, take it what you will on that. Well, anyways, everyone, this was Neo Reality, the WrestleVerse, presenting this. I can't believe this is actually a thing. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, check out my other content if you wish, and also check out the Twitter accounts that I mentioned into the description below. Stay tuned for more. I'll see you all next time. Peace and take care, and I'm cold. Bye.